we're here to address your questions about manifesting your desires. Now, everybody has a desire for something, whether they've taken a pen and paper and they've committed it, which I absolutely recommend that you do. But there is such potential within you, like when you really start to tap into that and you start to really harness your own energy, you will be absolutely amazed at what you can create. Now, before we get to the first question that was submitted, what I'd like to suggest is that every one of you that's here, either on this live with us right now or watching a replay, is to book for the Belief Day. Totally free. It's a free event I'm doing for you because I know this. The more you understand how you can create the beliefs that are necessary within you, that you absolutely must impress into your subconscious mind, the better it's going to go with manifesting. And what you will discover is how you can use that power, how you can use the power within you, and how you can tap into the energy of the universe to create whatever it is that you desire. So you go to thebeliefday.com, get registered. It's totally free. Bring a friend. We are not charging for this at all. We are going to record it. Yes, if you can't make it on live, it's a 4-hour event. But I want you to know something. I really want you to know and understand something. I've been studying success for over 43 years and applying it. I have manifested almost like rabbits out of a hat, like completely miraculous things that most people would say could never be done. I am not bragging. What I'm saying to you is you have that power within you too, and I want to show you how to harness that power, how to build such a strong belief system that you're completely unstoppable. So get on this event on the 8th of March. So it's just in a few days from now. Get on that event and bring someone, bring a friend, bring someone you care about. Tell people that you know. Let them know about it as well, because we would love to have all of you there, and we would love to be serving you and helping you accomplish whatever it is that you desire to accomplish in your life. So let's look at the first question that was submitted for today. And the question is as follows. Regarding mirror work, when saying an affirmation to each eye in the mirror, does one use I am or you are? Now, this is a wonderful question. A wonderful question. Now, here's what I would suggest. It doesn't matter. It's whatever you personally resonate with. If you find, or when you find you're looking in the mirror and you're looking at yourself eye to eye and you're affirming something like, I am an absolute success. I am wealthy beyond my wildest dreams. And by saying I am, you feel it more in your heart, or you feel it stronger than say I am. If, however, you look at yourself in the mirror and you say you are incredible, you set your goals and you reach them, and you have the same intensity of emotion, meaning you feel it, you really feel it, and you're saying you are, then that's fine. Now, the truth is told that the words I am are the most powerful 2 words that you can ever utter. All right. Now, my personal choice would be I am. But I'm also here to say that if you find that by saying you are, when you're looking at yourself in the eye, in the mirror, and doing your mirror work and saying your affirmations, and you feel that powerfully, then great. Do it that way. All right. Thank you so much for the question. The next question is from the Pello. It says, how do I keep my mind focused when going through personal challenges and not worry about those challenges? All right, this is such a great question. Now, how many of you have ever had a challenge, something that you were experiencing or going through, and you were worried, you were concerned? Raise your hand. Now, I can't physically see you right now, but I'm imagining that all hands are raised right now. Absolutely all hands are raised. And it's not unlikely that everyone will go through life challenges or a challenge at a time, which they may allow to put them off track. So the question is, how do you focus? How do you focus on what you want when you're going through these life challenges? Well, here's how you do it. You do that by creating switching techniques. Now, I wrote about that, about switching techniques, in my book, Your Destiny Switch. And I also teach about switching techniques in every program that I do. Now, what is a switching technique? A switching technique is a method of taking yourself out of worry and into calm, right? Because if you're worrying, you're certainly not calm. If you're fearful, you certainly don't have faith. So what you want to do is you want to do something that will, bam, instantly take you out of the negative energy, the destructive energy that is not going to serve you, and put yourself right back into positive energy. Now, I'm going to give you some suggestions for switching techniques. I'm going to give you the best technique that I have ever used. And I used it this morning, and I'm going to explain how. So the technique that I suggest is creating your own Power Life script. Now, you can go to powerlifescript.com, or you can go to the front page of my website, and you'll see we've got a guidebook that you can download on the Power Life script. But a Power Life script, in short description, is a detailed description of you living your amazing life in the present tense using only positive words. Now, why does that work as a switching technique? Because when you've written your Power Life script effectively, when you've written your Power Life script that really creates the emotion inside you, the feelings, the experience in your imagination of having that which you desire, then you are in alignment. And it's working magnificently and magically. And through space-time repetition of listening to your Power Life script, you're going to impress into your subconscious mind until you absolutely believe it. But when you're going through those challenging times, you want to get yourself out of that negative energy and put yourself right into positive energy as fast as humanly possible. Now, I had said to you that I was going to share with you a personal example. This is a very fresh example, and it happened today. So this morning, I had an appointment with the oncologist. So if you don't know, I went through cancer last year. I had cancer in my tongue and cancer in my neck, and I am now cancer-free. There's nothing there. So this morning was the 3-month checkup, where the oncologist was going to stick a scope up my nose, goes down your throat. She's going to take a look around, because the cancer was in my tongue, and take a look around my throat and neck and just make sure she doesn't see any sign of cancer. So I was feeling a little anxious about going to this appointment. And my husband had said to me, I'll go with you. And I said, that's okay. You don't need to go with me, because what I'm going to do is the moment I get in my car, I'm pushing the play button on my Power Life script. And because of the length of drive to the hospital, I knew I'd be able to listen to my Power Life script minimum 6 times. 3 times there, 3 times back. And I brought my earbuds with me so I could also listen to it while I was at the hospital in the waiting room, because typically you're waiting there for a little while. So that's what I did. It's a switching technique. Now, I'm going to give you another switching technique. And that switching technique is to ask yourself a very powerful 4-word question that goes like this. So the scenario would unfold. You're worrying about what you don't want. You're giving an energy to that. You want to get out of that energy. So ask yourself this: what would I love? Now write that down if you haven't written that question down. What would I love? And it's really important you write it down, and more important that you use it, right? Because if you go to that place called worry and you start thinking about what you don't want, and then you ask yourself, well, what would I love? You are going to answer a very positive way. So this morning, as an example, I'm getting ready to go to the oncologist. She's going to do the scope. She's going to determine and just do a check. Like, she physically wants to see, is there any trace of cancer there? Even though they did a CT scan, it's just another level of testing. And so if I'm feeling worried, I say, what would I love? I'd love for her to take a look in and say, no, all good. Nothing there. You're completely fine. And so, all right, well, I know the answer. Then you ask yourself, how does that feel? How does it feel when you connect to what you would love? It doesn't matter what's going on in your life. It doesn't matter whether it's a relationship issue or a health issue or a money issue or a business issue. When you ask yourself and answer the question, what would I love? And you answer it, and then you go there in your imagination and in your physical body, feeling and connecting to the outcome that you desire, you are in attraction mode. You are tapping into the law of vibration, which means you're going to attract to you everything requisite for that outcome, for the outcome that you're choosing to focus on. All right, so that's what I suggest that you do. All right, more questions are pouring in now. We have a question here from Nicoletta. I set some goals and start taking some action, but my actions are inconsistent. One-offs, what should I do? All right, I'm going to give you an insurance policy for success, and that is get yourself an accountability partner and do it. Like, do this today. Get an accountability partner. Now, here's what you do with your accountability partner, and this is really easy. You establish that every week you are going to be emailing your accountability partner at the beginning of the week. Now, I do this on Sunday because that's day one. On Sunday, you send them an email with a list of your accomplishments for that week. Now, I'm not talking about pick up the dry cleaning, do the groceries, clean the house, not those things. I'm talking about the things you would love to accomplish. Now, the way that you write the list is in the affirmative, as if it's already done. So I am so happy and grateful that I have, completed my book and released it to the world. Now, you can write down things in your accomplishment list, even if you have no idea how you're going to accomplish them. Set the objectives, set the outcomes for your week. Now, I typically have about 5, 7, somewhere around that number of lists of accomplishments. I send them to my accountability buddy. They send me their list back. But also, what you'll start to do in the second week is you'll update them on what you did the previous week based on what you committed to do. So I go into my email on Sundays and I find the email that I sent to my accountability partner the week before, and I pull off my list, I put it at the bottom, and I'll write a little update. Done, easily accomplished, oh yes, completed, not quite yet, changed my mind, whatever the update is. No judgment, it's all supportive, and that's what you do. You write an update, and then above you would have, these are the things that I'm committed to easily accomplishing this week, and you make that list. So that's one way. Now that is a very powerful idea. That will increase your productivity significantly. Now what I suggest that you also do, if this is a new way of being for you, to check in with your accountability partner during the week as well, just to see how they're doing, see if you can support them in any way, and give them an update on how you're doing. Then what you do is whatever you've written on your list, you want to make sure it's in your agenda or on a list. Like if you're someone who uses more electronic and your to-do list is on your computer, then write in those things so that it's blocked off. You've allocated time in your agenda to get those things done. All right. Or write it out so that it's in front of you, because you want to keep it in front of you so that you definitely get those things done. And then the other thing to do is create a daily list, And you can do it either the night before or in the morning. What are the things that you're committed to accomplishing today? So yesterday, like late in the day yesterday, I wrote my list for today. These are the 6 things that I will accomplish. Now, sometimes there's more than 6, sometimes there might be less than 6, but you create that list as well. And then you keep it in front of you and you just check it off as you're going along. Simple, but I'll tell you something, when you get into this habit, I've been in the habit of working with accountability partner for well over a decade now, and it really will make a difference. Where does it make a difference? It makes a difference in your results. Okay, the next question is from Regina. I do my daily disciplines, including listening to my Power Life script, and sometimes it feels like I'm telling myself a lie because my goals are so far from my current reality. Will continuing doing the disciplines help in getting more faith? Yes, Regina, absolutely, it'll help. But here's a suggestion for you. When you're doing these things, like it's not enough to do the things that we're talking about as far as goal achievement is concerned, like writing out affirmations or reading affirmations and doing mirror work or writing in your gratitude journal or investing time with your vision board or listening to your Power Life script. Here's what's the most important part of all of manifestation. How are you feeling? So if the things that you're doing, Regina, are definitely creating that feeling in your heart that it's already done, sure, it's going to seem like a lie. Your paradigm's going to be fighting you. It's going to fight you until you replace. You've got to replace the old paradigms with the new paradigms. And it takes time. It takes discipline. Now, here's the reason why it's not crowded along the extra mile. Because most people are not willing to do the work. You are, and good for you for doing it. Because you know what it's going to produce? Good for you. Absolutely will. And I know from personal experience, because that's what I did. When I decided back in the 90s to take my commitment to my goals up to another level by keeping and tracking a daily discipline sheet and measuring and monitoring my emotions based on how am I feeling relevant to the goal that I've set for myself, everything changed. That's when I started manifesting dream homes, and that's when I manifested my dream relationship. And so you're gonna find that it's gonna work for you like magic. I love what I read in your question, that you're so committed to this because that's going to make the big difference in your results. Okay, let's go to our next question. It is from, excuse me if I'm not saying the name correctly, but it looks like it is Tajesu. So is being positive minded and believing that you are already is the way to manifest? Yes. Yes, it is. And you know, when I first began studying personal development back in 1979, which was more than 43 years ago, I remember having the thought that it can't be that simple. You know, just like that question is asked, you know, having a positive mindset and already feeling as if you are the person that you desire to be. That's what is required to manifest. And I remember thinking, it's got to be more than that. It has to be more than that. Have any of you had that thought? I mean, just type in the chat box. Have you ever had the thought it has to be more than that? Because it appears and seems so simple. And it is simple, right? It is simple. But here's the challenge. The challenge is it's not as easy because of the way that you're programmed. We're all programmed in a certain way. You know, I was down in Florida earlier this week, and my grandson and I had gone out for dinner one night, just the two of us, and we saw a mother with a young child in a stroller, and this little boy was not very happy, and he was crying. And he wasn't screaming, he was crying. There's a difference, right? You know the difference. And she completely ignored him. And I just watched for a while to see if, you know, she was even going to look to see, you know, what does he need? What does he want? You know, or whatever. And so finally the little boy stopped crying. And this woman got up and walked away. And she left her children, you know, at the table. And I thought to myself, you know, when people are young, I was thinking about, you know, in my own life as well. When you're young and you're not cared for or treated, you know, with love, there's paradigms being built at that time, right? Children are developing their paradigms at a very young age. I've heard up until the age of 7. And the thing is, even beyond that, because you keep confirming and reaffirming the same ideas and same thoughts, paradigms get so strongly embedded within you, the challenge is to replace them. And you've got to replace them, and that takes time. And as I said earlier, most people aren't willing to invest the time, but when you're willing to invest the time to change your paradigm, that's when you're going to create the magic in your life. All right, more questions are coming in now. We have one from Maria. And this one is, visualizing my C goal is not a problem to me. I even have a Power Life script and vision board that challenges my business issues right now. How can I step forward to my big goal if my current situation is hindering me? What do you manifest the first step to get my C goal? What to do to manifest the first step to get to my C goal? Thank you so much. Okay, there's 2 things here. One is, you could be attempting to tell the universe how that C goal is going to be manifested, and rather than let it manifest. Now, I don't know if that's for sure or not the case. It may or may not be the case, but nothing is hindering you unless you give it power. All right. What you need to understand is the reality is consciousness. It's your consciousness. Your consciousness creates the reality. So, what do? You must deny the evidence of your senses. So, if you're seeing results in your business that are undesirable, that don't demonstrate that you're on track to your C goal, and you become emotionally involved in that, you're not in an empowering, productive, positive state. So what do? Well, you must imagine, you must actively use your imagination to put yourself right into the experience of whatever it is that you desire and to reside there. So if your consciousness is reality, you get to make it up. How do you do this? How do you manifest anything? Through your imagination. Active imagination that is utilized every single day. All right? Active imagination that is utilized every single day. Okay. We have, I think, a couple more questions here. Just a few minutes left, but we still have 2 more questions. And I'm going to get to those and we're going to call it a wrap for today. Okay, the next question is from Madi. How do you overcome the fear of not achieving your goal? For example, there is a house for sale, but you're afraid that someone else will buy it before you. Okay, you know what you're probably finding, thank you for asking the questions, by the way. Love answering your questions. What you're finding is the answers to one question is the answer to the next question. And what I just answered to the previous person's question is your answer as well. What would you love? What would you love? If you'd love to own that home, understand that it may be that home or it may be something better. It may be another home. So feel yourself right into the experience of having the home that you would love. Forget that someone else is going to buy that home. If you give your attention to something that you don't want, you're getting emotionally involved in an outcome that you don't want, which means you're manifesting what you don't want. You don't want to do that. You've got to stop staring at the wall. Like if I'm driving down the road and I'm staring at the wall and I'm going towards the wall, I'm going to hit the wall, right? But if I turn just slightly and focus on where I desire to go, but imagine in the now experience that I am there, that's what I'll manifest. That's where I'll go. But I have to feel it now. You have to feel it now. You have to feel as if it's here now. Okay? See yourself living in your dream home. See yourself surrounded by your friends or family. See yourself sitting in the dining room, having your meals there. Go to sleep there in your imagination. Wake up in the morning in your imagination. Do your dishes in the kitchen in that home in your imagination. Live in that home in your imagination. And what you're creating is the conscious reality of having that experience. Okay. Oh, look at that. Roddy slipped in a whole bunch more questions. All right, no worries, Roddy. We'll keep serving. Okay, Jenny is asking the question. I tend to have a worry that feels in my stomach. I'm doing very well at noticing thoughts. Good for you, Jenny. That's awesome. So by doing this opens up the way for the paradigm to change in time, correct? Yes. You know, it's so beautiful to have that awareness. Like the moment you feel yourself anxious or worried or concerned or doubtful or whatever, any emotion that doesn't feel good, you're out of alignment, right? And it's good to have that. I would bless it, say thank you for the awareness, because now you can choose to change it. You can say, what would I love? I'd love to feel calm. I'd love to have this in my life. Okay, what does that feel like? Feels great, feels wonderful, and you go straight to that place of feeling it. All right, next question is from Malitza. Can you give examples from multiple sources of income? All right, perfect. Well, here's one, write a book, because you could use a book. I just released Savvy Wisdom 2, and it's my 20th book. 20 books, so there's 20 sources of income. Now, this book is in 3 formats, hardcover, Kindle, paperback. There's 3 sources of income. Savvy Wisdom 1 is in Audible, hardcover, Kindle, paperback. That's 4. Okay, now I've just mentioned 7 additional sources of income. I have programs. I created a course based on the wisdom from Savvy Wisdom. It's called Savvy's Proven Success Principles. So that when people invest in a copy of either Savvy Wisdom 1 or Savvy Wisdom 2, then they'll want to apply the wisdom into their life. They can enroll in Savvy's Proven Success Principles. And people do, right, from reading the book. And this I teach in the Complete Author Program. Go to thecompleteauthorprogram.com. And that's where I teach about how authors can create multiple sources of income. Another example is online. I was chatting with a client yesterday who has a desire to create a YouTube channel, and they are looking to monetize it. How do you monetize a YouTube channel? A couple ways. Well, there's probably many ways, but I'll just give you a couple. One is by allowing ads on your YouTube channel. That when people see an ad from someone else and they click on it, you earn money. Another way is if you're, let's say, an expert or a coach or consultant or whatever, and you create a YouTube channel and you're sharing your brilliance and your idea, you could be promoting one of your programs or something that you're doing, an event that you're doing, and there's a way of creating a source of income. Other sources of income are from investments, money earning, money, well, that's not really that is sort of a source of income, but it is a source of income. Real estate investment is a source of income, but I love doing technology and using the internet to create multiple sources of income. Okay. All right, we're beyond our 30-minute mark here, so I'm going to answer the questions that are here, but no additional ones, okay, because I do have another meeting coming up. All right, so the next one is from Fund Me. How do I visualize and embody the manifestation of my 20 clients? Okay, here's how you do that. What would you be seeing were you to have 20 clients? Would you be seeing a revenue in your business account? Would you be seeing a Zoom room full with you and 20 other people? Whatever you would be seeing, that's what you give your energy to. Visualize that outcome. Melitza, oh wait, I already answered that question. Homemaking tips. How do you know which paradigm is blocking me from being confident enough to start my business, please? Well, here's the thing. You don't even need to know. Don't worry about, don't look at what's blocking you, because what you give your attention to expands, right? Whatever's blocking you is going to surface. It could be fear. It could be just fear because it, might be scary for you to start a business. And if so, understand that that is just the other side of faith. You can turn it into faith. You see, the Power Life script you can use to manifest anything. If you have a desire to have your own business and have it be a success, then I would include that in your Power Life script. I talk about my business in my Power Life script. So talk about yours. Talk about how wonderful it is to be in business for yourself, how you're earning more money than you've ever earned in your life, how your business is highly profitable, how you're serving people in only positive ways. I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but giving you some ideas for how you could script and see your business as the success that you desire to be. So just get over yourself. The thing that I find is when you move into action, quite often that will dissipate or actually remove any fear that's there. Okay, so move into action. And we're going to finish off with Grace's question. How about manifesting to go to another country but can't get past the border? Everything else was manifested in my mind. I could feel it, but not past the border. Okay, well, I don't know what the situation is as far as the border are concerned, but I do know that they're starting to lighten up on certain things with travel. For example, I returned to Canada on March 1st, and now we only require an antigen test and not a PCR test, so it's making it easier. And I've heard rumors that that's going to go away as well. But here's the answer, like the shorter answer, and of course the way to manifest. See yourself where you'd love to be. Don't worry about the how, don't worry about the details, don't get caught up in that this isn't working. Earlier I was chatting about denying the evidence of the senses, right? So if the desire is to be in another country, then see yourself in the other country. One of the books that I love is this book here by Neville Goddard called The Power of Awareness. And I pretty much every book that Neville Goddard has ever written. And there's a story in Neville Goddard's book where he talks about how he had a desire. He was living in the United States at the time, and Neville Goddard had a desire to go to Barbados. And so what he did, and he was guided by his mentor, what he did was he would wake up every day imagining, using his imagination, that he was in Barbados. He would be walking down the street in New York City, in Manhattan, and rather than walking down the street in Manhattan, in his imagination, he was walking down the street in Barbados. So what did he do? He imagined himself right into the experience of what it was that he desired. Okay, Roddy, I'm noticing on Instagram somebody said Everton Friars. Can you answer my question, please? I don't see your question, or I haven't seen it yet. So let's see if Roddy can find your question. We're going to wrap up, but I'm going to stay here so I can answer your question. Or retype it in there as well. Roddy, do you have a question from Everton Friars? I'm not sure how to say that, but you'll get the idea. I'm looking for the question here. Don't see it. Okay, I'd like to answer it, but I don't see it anywhere. Can you type it in again? Or Roddy, can you help me find it? I did a quick look, but let's see. Okay, there we go. Oh, I found it. Thank you. Oh, I appreciate that. Okay, good. It's on Instagram. That's where the question is. Perfect. All right, there's two questions here actually. There's one from, yeah, it's okay, Roddy. It's on Instagram. There's a question here from FA111106. How you know that teaching and helping people is your work in life. Okay, I'm gonna answer that one first, then I'm gonna go to Everton Friar's question as well. So how do you know that teaching and helping people is your work in life? I would say it's based on how you feel. I believe it should be a passion, or you fall in love with helping people. I remember back in the 1980s, I was walking down Yonge Street in Toronto. I was born and raised in Toronto. I live in Ottawa now, but I was born and raised in Toronto. And I remember walking down Yonge Street in the 1980s, and I stopped in my tracks. And it's almost like a lightning bolt experience. And I remember thinking, because my life had positively changed from studying success and personal development, and because I was then experiencing these wonderful changes in my life, I decided I wanted to help other people because I knew other people were in pain. I knew people were experiencing blocks and challenges, etc. So I made a decision. So how do you know? By how you feel. In the 90s, I created the mission statement for my business to make a positive and beneficial contribution to the lives of hundreds of millions of others. And so you wake up every day, and if you're fueled by that, like I love helping people. That's why I love doing these calls. I love doing the Belief Day. We're doing a 4-hour free event on March 8th called the Belief Day, and anyone can sign up for it. It's totally free, and every one of you should be signed up for that and bring a friend. thebeliefday.com. You can get yourself registered. And that's the thing. When you're doing what you love, you'll know it by how you feel. You won't feel like you're working. We were doing a call yesterday with our Destiny coaches, and one of our Destiny coaches is doing the coaching now full time. And he had said this. He says, I feel like I'm retired because I'm doing what I love. I love what I do and I'm doing what I love. And that's how you know. You know by how you feel. All right, and then the next question is, and this was the one that we were missing, so thank you for pointing that out. How can I monetize working as a coach? Well, that's easy. You know, what you're offering, depending on the type of coach. We have Destiny coaches, by the way. If you want to check out Destiny coaches, go to destinycoaches.com. And our Destiny coaches are all designed to help people. And they have a program that they coach people through. It's a program that I created. There's a couple of programs that I've created that they can coach their clients through. But there's a fee for it. They invest in it, right? And so when people invest in the coaching by exchanging something of value to them, which is dollars, and you give of your knowledge, your wisdom, and your time, that's the exchange, right? This is how you make money. You charge for your wisdom. Now, earlier I mentioned to you that Savvy Wisdom, because someone had asked about creating multiple sources of income, one of the things that I did was I created a course called Savvy's Proven Success Principles. And this is a course that's based on the teachings from Savvy Wisdom. And so I'm also a mentor. I mentor people, and I have programs, I have an app, I have books, And I have books in different languages, in almost 40 languages, sold in about 100 countries in the world, maybe more at this point. And that's how you earn money. I'm a great example of that. And I teach people how to do the same. So what I would suggest is go to PeggyMcColl.com. You can check out what we do. And you can meet with Vladdy if you want. Vladdy's on the call right now. She's happy to discuss this with you and give you some guidance on how we could help you with earning money as a coach as well. All right, I believe we've got all the questions now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. We're going to call it a wrap, and we will be back next week. I really love and appreciate you. Now, listen, get yourself registered for the Belief Day. It is on Tuesday, March 8th. Tuesday, March 8th. It's 4 hours, totally free, 2 p.m. Eastern until 6 p.m. Eastern. Yes, you will be able to have your questions answered during that time, but it's about building your beliefs. You're very welcome. I appreciate you. Thank you, Roddy. Thank you, Vladdy. And I'll see you all on the Belief Day. Bye-bye for now.